I am next up on the panel, and so once again, I am Brad Fournier. For me, this is like a homecoming that is years in the making. I grew up in Alberta, in rural Alberta, on a dairy Angus operation. I had a 20-year career in agriculture that started as a beef technical expert and researcher, and morphed into programming. At one point, I was the individual responsible for all your BSE compensation checks, if there are any producers or of neighbors in the room. And I ended my tranche in agriculture in the last 8 years investing in research and innovation, which is a true passion of mine. I was working with the Alberta Livestock and Meat Agency, and prior to that, the Alberta Agriculture Research Institute, which was a precursor to Alberta Innovates. So that's how long ago those were happening. I took a little bit of a right turn and ended up managing a health charity on campus where I was a fundraiser and invested in diabetes research for 6.5 years. And just had that desire to come back to my roots. And so it's been an absolute joy and a gift coming back to Invest Alberta as the agriculture sector lead. And it's been a hell of a 5 months. I was expecting there to be a little bit of a learning curve, which I utterly anticipated, knowing that there was a 6-year gap. I did not expect to be drinking from a fire hose 5.5 months later, and still. It has been an absolute ride, and I'm just going to give you a little bit of perspective, not only from what Invest Alberta can do, but what I have learned in the last 5.5 months, because it is hugely, hugely relevant. Touched on this yesterday, what Invest Alberta is. And it is, as the Premier would describe it, the business development face for the province of Alberta. And we are here to engage the world as well as local business to support investment and job growth in any and all. So I was the first sector lead to be hired. There is 7 more in energy, in petrochem, tourism, aviation, film, all sorts of things that Alberta is renowned for. And as a Crown Corporation, our deal is to help and facilitate business break through a number of challenges that may happen for investment to occur. So right from working with companies on regulatory barriers and challenges that they may be facing, to permitting and zoning issues, and the whole range and gamut, so that if there is an organization that is interested in moving to the province, we can walk them through that. We are highly engaged with our partners at Invest in Canada, who are slightly different than the trade organizations and investment arms at the federal level. And so we all have this slightly nuanced role to be playing as we usher in new and exciting opportunities into the province. We have inherited the 12 international offices that have existed with the government of Alberta and are expanding and doubling these by the end of summer. The staff in these offices doubling by the end of the summer. So our international team and presence is quite dynamic. I have the great fortune of working with 6, soon to be 8, agriculture-specific individuals in these offices, well, largely through the Asian markets, but we are hiring an individual in Singapore as well as one in Dusseldorf to have that real connection to specific food, specific sector, specific crop interest. And when I came on board, I was anticipating that ag was not like your grandpa's farm. Ag now is everything from blockchain to financing to CPG and world food production and the highest food standards. We are living and working through that entire range right now. Where it has ended up spending most of my time is in two of these concentric circles. Ag more so than any other group. We are working with startups in the province and working around both areas of finance, both in terms of non-diluted funds, which are the government grants that many groups are interested in pursuing, as well as a host of financing options. And I wanted to walk you through just a few scenarios, and I hope that you can see some of this. The reality is there is zero shortage of cash to be invested. I'm talking across all sectors. I'm talking specifically about ag. It is slow to the draw, and there is, it's difficult to compare it to other sectors, but there is a profound amount of interest, because if you don't know it, I'm being told that agriculture is pretty sexy investment right now. So 2001 was a monstrous investment year. I don't know if it was pandemic buildup or just the right investment kind of environment. But 2001 set records in terms of venture capital investment around the world. Canada was no different, and we are but a sliver when it comes to venture capital investment. But you can see as well the monster deals that occurred through 4 quarters in 2001 and Q1 of 2022 have started off that exact same trend. In addition to that, the deal sizes are exploding. We are well beyond, and you can see this profoundly and almost impotent median size of project sizes that you're seeing in that light green line on the second graph at the bottom. We're now spiking into an average of $5 million investments to $25 million investments. There is a bit of a graveyard in between that $5 million space, because for every group that I'm working with, and I have about 50 clients now already, for every one that is looking for a $5 million investment to help move them along, I have about 5 people looking to invest $100 million. And that's astronomical to me. I have to admit, I'm stunned. I was literally stunned that there is that much cash. So I am learning quick and learning to put the smile over that shocked face, because there is so much cash that is happening. Within the province of Alberta, venture capital in Alberta in 2000 and 2001 set monster records as well. This is the hockey-shaped curve that you want to be aware of. This is happening in our province. Over 450 million in venture capital was invested in 2020. That number climbed in 2021 as well. A lot of that is in some very interesting spaces like fintech and tech, but we also have ag tech in that space. You are among the ag tech community that there's a growing number of people want to talk to. They want to hear what is inspiring you and what is your vision for being part of a greener community and a robust economy in the province. So venture cap is great, right? Because it's setting records. The private equity investment was $2.3 billion. So 5 times that is what we are seeing on private equity, where venture capital is happening. So you don't know them and they don't know you, but they're there. And it's about making that connection. And that's where I come in. I am nothing more than a matchmaker between business and the investment community. So of the 50 deals that I am being exposed to right now, some themes have kind of developed in a very short period of time, and I wanted to share those. There were conversations yesterday about ESG and is this real or is this not? Every of the top 10 projects that I have, 8 have a profound ESG story. And that means net neutral or net negative is part of their vision. If it's not central to it, you can see how quickly they're falling into 11 through 20, 21 through 30. Because the ones that I am taking to the investment community now, they're eating up. And what they have informed me is any and every ESG project that you have, we will take. So it is a wow. And the projects that I'm putting in front of them are wows. Okay? The underlying element that we're also seeing in these top 8 projects is that they're holding on to IP or that they have a technology as well. There is a massive void to invest in ag tech. So the more that you can galvanize your story and your platforms to deliver on something unique in the ag tech space, you're going to garner their interest profoundly. In addition to that, it's been danced around and reiterated, and we've talked about it as well on offtakes. This is central to having any conversation, whether it's syndicating financing, whether it's to attracting any kind of interest. An offtake agreement or an end user contract is the relevance that you play in that market. So we're beyond the times of just producing shit because we're good at producing shit. It now needs that connection to the end consumer, and you have to listen to that consumer and address the need that they're looking for. The fourth thing is management. A lot of people have great ideas. A lot of people. It comes down to the few that they're going to have the confidence in building that out. So build your team early rather than later. And the other thing common among those projects is scope. We're not just talking about doing stuff because it's a good idea in the province. I'm talking about these top 10 projects are best in class. We're talking about the only net zero kinds of operations in North America. I'm talking about the biggest in the world. So I want to piece these out individually because it's relevant to even Angus's comments this morning. Remember he talked about all that empty office space in downtown Calgary? Between Christmas and mid-January, one of my clients found $200 million in soft financing of a $360 million CapEx initiative. By Stampede this year, that single group will be the largest indoor vertical grower in the world. Compared to what is there now, they are adding a 0 at the end of that. And that is another wow. How quickly this pace is moving. And the funny part is, this is a data-driven company. Their background is in analytics. They are data-driving, they are technology-driven, and they are bringing in people that know how to propagate a lettuce and grow a pepper plant. But it's that base of data, it's that knowledge, that profound element of learning, and each of those little individual touch points is a data point for their growth. That's the wow. The only net zero in North America is in the manufacturing space. And not only are they being the only one in North America, they're delivering the purest of product that companies are lined up to get. And 25% of that will be organic as well. So you begin to blow the mind of the investment community when you can put things in front of them that they're not anticipating, right? And the last thing that you need to do is believe that you are going to be the shit, that you are a unicorn, that you are the one that's going to make the difference and why you should be invested in. So during BSE, I was constantly, I would respond to about 20 to 30 calls on behalf of the minister and deputy premier. I had no answers, but what I could do for that moment in that time was help you define what your current reality was for every beef producer in that. And that's what I'm doing right now as well in my current role, defining what the current investment reality is. And I'd say this, spend 10 times the amount of time that you are in looking at offtake agreements and in consumer markets and connecting yourself to that than in talking to government. Government and government programs are looking for every excuse to say no. And no offense to the feds, but they're the best at it, right? Rare is there a solutions-driven guy like me, and I have a 20-some career now in ag, as being that solution-driven guy and finding answers, finding solutions to every issue on behalf of my clients. They're simply looking for reasons to say no. So if that's where your time is being spent, it's a bit of a drive, a spiral downward. There was a comment yesterday about making applications and being averse to your business plan to adapt to the program. I call bullshit. If you, thank you. If your business plan is changing based on the application that you don't know your business. Your passion is not driving your business. And that is what's going to set you apart, right? When you have the same story with your investor, with government, with a private equity individual, heaven help you if they ever met each other and they heard 3 different stories because you have lost their confidence. But if they don't buy into your vision and see your passion, are they really the right program? Are they really the right partner for you? So think about who you are inviting into your bed, into your home, right? Because not every person is the right one just because they have cash. And the final thing, and the analogy I wanted to use there was your ESG story, right? So if you're coming up with shit on the fly, just to address that box that says, do you have an ESG story? That's not core to your business. It's going to get sussed out in your application. And finally is, know your business better than anybody else, because these people are seeing 10s, of 20s, of hundreds of different proposals coming in front of them. And if you are the 10th hemp business, if you're the 10th hemp manufacturer, if you're the 10th pea fractionation company, right, you have to know your business more because they've already learned from the first 9, and they're going to call bullshit. So it needs to resonate that you know your business better than everybody else. And I'm just going to end with these gorgeous pictures of Alberta. I stayed up till midnight rewriting this thing, so I'll spare you all the other things about Invest Alberta and what I originally was going to talk. But I will invite my colleague, Lee Krzyzewski, up to the podium now.